I'm glad to have you all here. Together we have today arranged the meeting of two NGOs friendly to Serbia, one from the United States and another one from Israel. Our friends from the United States came here to try to lobby for Serbia generally and especially about the Kosovo problem. Here in Israel we have NGO Israeli-Serbian Friendship, which was organized with only their opinion and perception of unjust, which is lately often done towards the Serbia and Serbs. So the people which have no direct connection with the Serbia and the Serbs decided to organize, and there are friends, and they will probably introduce themselves when I finish this introduction. And they decided to do something about it, so they came to our embassy and offered their help. So we thought it's a very good opportunity tonight to meet with our friends which are working on it hardly these days in Israel, to open the mind of the people and try to make a better understanding of what's going on, so they could help our friends from Israel to get new informations and new arguments for the action they are ready to take. In the same time, I would like to thank the representatives of the media which came to witness this meeting and to hear, I hope, something new and something very important, which I know our friends have. So that's, I believe, enough for the introduction and for the beginning. Welcome again, everyone, and please introduce yourself so I wouldn't take another time for it, and feel free to take a stand.
My name is Srđan Trifković. I'm foreign editor of the monthly magazine Chronicles, which is published by the Rockefeller Institute in the United States. I'm a native of Belgrade. I'm a naturalized American citizen who believes that what is being done vis-a-vis Kosovo is not only bad because it's bad for Serbia, but because ultimately it's also bad for the United States and for the rest of the Western world. That it is ultimately bad for the cause of the rule of law and decency everywhere in the world, and that it is bad in particular for those nations and communities that are resisting aggressive jihadist expansion, which we are witnessing wherever Dar al-Islam meets Dar al-Harb. My colleagues have no ethnic or any other connection to our part of the world, except the belief that, likewise, what is being done is detrimental in the long term to the interests of their own countries and their own communities. Julia Gorin is a journalist and a prominent commentator, in particular in the Jewish American publications. And she has written extensively both on the subject of Kosovo, on the subject of World War II and Croatia's role in the period of the Holocaust. Has created quite a stir. I don't think she will be going for a vacation in Dubrovnik anytime soon. And she has an acute awareness that many of the problems that the Serbs face today are the problems that the Jews have faced through the centuries, including blanket demonization, which is not based on anything they have done, but is entirely based on the cultural or else geostrategic and political assumptions to which the Serbs are now perceived as an obstacle. Mr. Jatras, James Jatras, used to be for many years senior political analyst with the US Senate Republican Policy Committee, before which he was a Foreign Service officer with the US State Department, and is nowadays a lobbyist in Washington, D.C., and is currently, among other things, director of the American Council for Kosovo, an NGO that endeavors to counter the monolith of lies, distortions, and mistakes that we've seen over the past 15 years, not only vis-à-vis Kosovo and Metohija, but also vis-à-vis Bosnia and Herzegovina, vis-à-vis Croatia, and vis-à-vis, above all, the character of the Serbian nation. Mr. James Bissett is from Canada, so really we are visitors not from the United States, but from North America, to be precise, even though some Americans would regard Canada as the 51st state. And he was the witness to the early period of Yugoslavia's disintegration and the beginning of war, because he was the last Canadian ambassador in Belgrade to the old Yugoslavia that included Slovenia, Croatia, Macedonia, and all the others. And during that period, he realized, again, on the basis of his common sense and his sense of moral distinctions, that the presentation of the Yugoslav conflict in the Western political circles, the media and academia, was not a representation, but a misrepresentation and a distortion. And ever since has been very active in defending the good name of the Serbs and warning of the consequences of such policies for the Western world and for the country, which, of course, he cares for more than any other. One illustration of the consequences of such endeavor for Mr. Bissett is that when he came to a conference held in Belgrade in January of 2000, the Serbs and the West, the roots of the problem, he went to see his old staffers, Serbian staffers, at the Canadian Embassy in Belgrade to bring them some gifts, and was asked by the security officer of the embassy to vacate the premises because his presence was not desirable. So when people tell you about totalitarianism, when they tell you about totalitarianism and the yawning gap that exists between societies based on such premises from those of liberal democracy, bear in mind that at least they didn't grab Mr. Bissett and send him to some gulag in northern Alberta. They simply asked him to vacate the premises. I will first ask Mr. Jatras to give you some background on the reasons why we believe it was necessary and useful for us to come to Israel, bearing in mind that Israel is not a member of the contact group, Israel is not a member of the Security Council, Israel is not actively involved in the resolution of the Kosovo issue.